YouTube world, as well as Shade Tree Survivals. Mac Daddy 1911A1 here again. This video here will cover the two primary stances that are being taught at the schools out there, and I will give you my opinion on why the advantages of each and the disadvantages that I can see of each. You will have instructors and you will have people who are absolutely going to tell you this is stupid, that stance there is antiquated, or that stance there is bad for this reason, or that stance there is bad for that reason. You have to make up your own mind. Okay, I prefer the Weaver stance because this is what I learned first, and the repetition of doing it so many times, assuming the stance, that's what I love to do. I know for a fact I'm more accurate with it, but I'm also in the Isosceles, which is the other primary stance out there. I'm a little faster on the second, third, and fourth shot. I mean, I'm very fast with it compared to the Weaver, only because the recoil, the muzzle comes back down faster because of the tension that you're putting in your arms. There are, like I said, disadvantages to each, and there are advantages to each, and some of the perceived disadvantages of one, particularly the Weaver, I think is a total load of crap. But you need to learn as many stances, as many ways to shoot as you possibly can. Okay? Standing, kneeling, if you're sitting on your behind, if you're knocked down, you're laying on your side or on your back, you're shooting from cover, and the only cover available is the curb side. Okay, you need to get behind as much cover as possible, make it as difficult as possible for Mr. I Ain't an American or Mr. Bad Guy or gal as possible. So you don't want to just be standing there like a, police officers prefer Isosceles because they wear body armor that covers the front, the vital organs of the body. Okay, so they're going to shoot out here in Isosceles and their entire front is covered. Others prefer the Weaver, but they say because you're blading your body slightly, that opens up the armpit and so forth to be shot at. If you're blading that far, yeah, maybe, but I don't blade that damn much, or at least I try not to. But you have to decide which one, and you need to practice that exclusively as far as you're standing, because most confrontations take place within the hand's reach or out to about 7 yards, which is 21 feet. Okay, just throw you a 3-foot yardstick down on the ground, run off 21 feet, or a tape measure, whatever, that is within that envelope. But more often than not, it's closer than that. And your goal that you need to set is to have your handgun out, complete the presentation on target in under a second. Okay, we've got professionals out there can do it in 1700ths of a second, but they got a fancy rig on that makes it very fast and so forth to get the handgun out and get it on target and presented to whatever is trying to attack them. Most of us will never achieve that. So do not set impossible goals for yourself unless you intend to be a professional at it. Alright, we'll pause the camera, move it, and then I'll demonstrate both of the stances. Okay, and you can see from my shirt I'm sweating. It is hot as hell out here. I'm hoping that the camera can pick up my feet. We'll deal with Weaver first because this is the one I'm most comfortable in, and I would naturally take because I've practiced so many repetitions of it. But you're walking along, whatever the case may be, and you see a situation happen, or you're standing in the mall talking to a friend and you see something happening. Weaver is simple to get into. First thing you got to do is just take a half a step back with your strong side foot. Doesn't matter if it's left or right. Whatever your primary riding hand is, that's your strong side. Okay, and you want to take a half a step back. And as you're learning to do this, just look down. You want your toes on your strong leg, which in this case is my right leg, to be in line with the heel of your weak side. Okay, your weak leg, your non-dominant. Okay, that's part one. Part two is you're going to move any garment out of the way if it is on your person, or you're going to reach into your handbag or your, whatever, however you got. Now, this is something you have to practice. I can't teach everything because I don't have all these different modes of carrying it, and maybe you need to look for some videos like that. This is just if you're carrying the gun on your hip. But anywho, First thing you're going to do is move that garment out of the way, and you're going to get a proper grip on the handgun. And I've found, move up for this, that sometimes when I grab the, or when, not sometimes, but when I grab for the gun, if I turn my hand just a little bit, instead of having it out here, I'm going to turn it where the heel right in here is turned in toward the gun a little bit as I grab it. And when I get it into my hand, it's going to put it right there where the barrel is in line with the long bones of my arm. Okay, that's the primary thing about Weaver you have to understand. You want the gun barrel in line with the long bones of your arm, and you don't want to have to cock your wrist left or right. Okay, so that's the first thing. You're going to make sure you get the garment out of the way, get the correct grip on the gun. Okay, let me assume the stance. Your support hand, always you want to put it in the center of your body, touching your tummy. Why? Because you do not, as I stated in one of the other videos, want to have the barrel, which I might have done that on a video in which I'm not actually going to upload it. But basically what you don't want is your live firearm pointed at your hand. Okay? You keep the hand here. Alright, it also frees it up if someone's trying to strike you to block. Okay? Or to hit them. You know, to keep them off of you, because you do not want them to grab your gun. Period. You want to be mean as hell if this happens. But we're just learning here. So you got your stance, your feet squared away, hand on the gun properly, support hand out of the way. Draw the gun straight up and out. Nothing else at this point. So that's 1, 2, 3. 4, you rotate the gun toward the threat. Take the safety off. So your hand's still over here. As you move the gun forward, this is number 5, your support hand meets the handgun. Trigger, your finger enters the trigger guard. Okay, and I'm not going to do that right now because the gun is loaded, but just telling you what to do. Enters the trigger guard, and as you come up, do not break eye contact with the target. Whatever that target is, do not break eye contact. It's like baseball. Keep your eye on the ball and your bat will hit it. Same thing here. You bring it up and you catch that front sight and you focus sharply on the front sight. You depress the trigger, blow the hell out of them. And that is the presentation with Weaver. So we'll do it full speed without talking. Okay? Now, once you're in this position, you don't want your arms out like this. Okay? This, you know, like this here. You want to pull your elbows down and in, and that tightens all the muscles up, tightens the bone structure up, and gives you a good, steady grip on it. The other thing about Weaver is you want to push out with this hand, pull in with this hand, your support hand. Right, I'll do it the other way. Pull with this hand, push with the hand that has the handgun in it. And what you're doing is building up isometric tension to help with the recoil. Okay? A lot of people think that's, the Isosceles people think that's stupid. That's fine. Whoop de freaking do. Doesn't matter to me, because I know I'm more accurate with the Weaver, and a lot of other people are too. Now, that was part 1. Part 2, Isosceles. Like I said, most of the police departments and military, they teach this because they have body armor on to cover all their vital zones. And the side panel of the body armor, most of them are it's just Velcroed. You got a front plate, you've got a back plate that covers all the vital organs from impacts striking here, not here. So what they're wanting you to do is square up dead on the money with the target. Alright, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see how I'm doing this. You want your feet shoulder width apart again. Alright, you want to bend your knees slightly. Basically, the draw is the same way because you want to get that proper grip on the handgun. You support hands out of the way until your gun's up and out and forward. Safety coming off at this point. Once it's pointed down range toward the bad guy. The difference here is your arms are going to be sort of triangled. I don't know exactly how, like the roof of a house, and you're going to push the gun out, rotating this hand toward it to cover the entire grip area of the gun. You're wanting this hand rotated up like this, and there's no gap in your hand at all. All that flesh is touching. I don't know how well the camera can see that. You're going to push it out like this, and what you're doing is you're locking your wrists in this position, and then you're rotating your elbows up. What that does is it applies pressure to the sides of the receiver on both sides, and it makes a vice-like grip on the handgun, on the frame of the handgun. So you're coming from here, you're going to rotate your hands up, and you're going to provide a lot of extra force on the frame of that gun. That's one of the good reasons, one of the reasons it's really good as far as recovering from the recoil, because you got a vice-like, you're twisting on that, the gun, and I'll point it this way so you can see what it looks like. Now, I'm not an expert with Isosceles, so that may not be 100% correct. You can go over to Jerry Miculak, MICHLAK, or H, one of the two. I'll put an annotation in it, or I'll put a link down below. But he is a revolver champion. He's also really, really good with a shoot any handgun or rifle or shotgun he picks up. He is a professional. He knows his business, and he has a really good video on the isosceles stance. And he's, of course, ribbing the Weaver and so forth. Weaver is combat stance. Isosceles is combat stance, whichever one you prefer. Okay, the twisting of the hand so radically at the wrist, that is the part that it bothers me. I just don't like that. And I prefer the Weaver because you're pulling back, and I'm bladed too far, but you're pulling back and pushing forward. You get that tension in there, and the gun will shoot where you aim it at. Either stance, it doesn't matter. Right before you break the shot, as I stated, or maybe, well, yeah, I did. I stated that you focused not on the rear sight, not on the target, but on the front sight at the moment of ignition when you break that shot and make the shot go. Okay, so those are your two basic stances. You can watch other videos from other channels. I recommend you try to find some guys that are real professionals, okay, that really do this for a living. Instructor Zero is a good one. James Yeager's channel is a good one. And there are many, many, many others out there that you know, teach both. So it would be a good idea to be versatile. Now, beyond the basic stances, what else? What other kinds of things are you going to be? What other kinds of things do you need to learn? Okay, once you get that, how you're going to hold the handgun down pat, you need to learn how to safely maneuver with it in order not to cover other people. So position sole, where the gun barrel, the muzzle is pointing at the ground. You have a solid, it's locked in the way you need it to. In case you have to engage a target, it's already there. Okay. But say you're walking along and the threat doesn't come from the front, but maybe from one of your sides, say to the left. Now this is something that they teach at gun sight if you're going to use Weaver, and it's called a pivot. And you want to learn to do pivots and turns, and I've got a couple videos on that where I've got the camera way up above me high, and you can see where my feet are pivoting a whole lot better than from this angle here. You might want to go back and check those out. I think they're in the 1911 playlist, but I'm not going to swear to it. But basically what you're doing, you're walking this way, something catches your eye, you look, you see, oh crap, there's a threat right there. You're going to go for the handgun and draw it as you, all you're doing is you're planting your feet and then pivoting. Let me, okay, you're wanting to plant your feet. We're walking straight ahead, and I've got the camera, of course, you can see my feet. But you know, you're in mid-step, and you see this. You've looked off to the left, and you've seen this, and this is mid-step, okay? And you're going to go for your handgun, and you're just going to pivot, get up on your toes. Let me back up a little bit further so you can see me lift my heels. But you're going to get up on your toes and pivot, okay? You're already in a Weaver stance right there. You're already aiming at the bad guy, and you're ready to kill him. All right. I'll do a close-up on this next one. Say they're coming up from behind, and then I'll back the camera off so you can see it full blown. But Yeah, okay, you can see the back of my boots. All right, say they're behind me. And I look over my shoulder and I'm like, oh crap, and I see somebody coming toward me. You're going to just pivot right around and you are on them in a split second as you're drawing the handgun. You can make this maneuver while as fast as you can draw the gun. Okay, well, it's doesn't got my freaking head in it. It's all right. I don't give a rat's hind end. Okay, you're going straight ahead. You see the problem. You're drawing out. Pop. You nailed that butt. Okay, you're heading away. So you look over your shoulder. There's some bad some bitches coming up at you, and they want to kill you. Just you're gonna make that pivot, and you're right on. Boom. Very quick, very fluid, easy. Okay. You're just getting on your toes. You're going to get up and move your weight up on your toes so it's not so bad on your knees, and you're just going to pivot right around. I want to make sure I get this in there so you can see just about everything, I guess, except for my feet. Got a bad guy to the left. We've done the one to the rear. Let's do one to the right. Just like driving a heavy-duty truck, making a right turn because the curve is so much closer to the trailer, making that right pivot is a little more difficult, but it should not be intimidating because it's not that hard. You're walking along, you see a problem, something catches your eye, you look, you see that there is a problem, you're going to take a step cross. You're not crossing your legs as in getting them tangled up. All right? You're going to have a full step between your legs, so it's not like you're going to get tangled up, and this is not really something I guess that would be very effective running, but you're just going to cross and step over your right leg, because that's the direction that the threat's coming from. Up on your toes again, you're going to pivot, and you're right there at the problem and able very quickly to solve. But let's say for whatever reason you cannot move your feet. Let us say because all the jokers that preach Isosceles thinks that if you're a weaver that your feet are in concrete. But let's say for instance your feet are stuck in concrete. They've been plowed in and you've been stuck there and now it's dry and it's going to take a jackhammer to get your feet out of there. You cannot get up, move your damn feet. Okay. My hips and my backbone are flexible. God made me that way for a reason. All right, no matter which way they're coming at me, I can get that handgun on. All right, it's not as good to the rear if your feet are stationary, but as long as your feet are not stuck in concrete, you are on it. You can wear their butt out quick in a hurry. I mean, it's not that big a freaking deal. Anybody who says otherwise is full of crap. Full of crap. Okay, but like I said, you got these two schools of thought. Both of them are very opinionated. Both of them want you to learn what they're going to teach. And maybe you need to find a different school if you disagree with that stance. But why not learn them both? Why not learn them both? Now let's get to recoil management. If you have the proper grip, you're in the proper stance, and you fire it, and the gun rocks you back so much. The easiest way to alleviate that, ladies and gentlemen, is lean into the gun just a tad. Okay? I see a lot of people, men and women, who shoot like this. All right? They got their back bowed, whether it be a rifle or a shotgun, they're doing this. Don't do that. Do this. Get in on it. Lean in on that support leg if you're shooting Weaver. Bend your knees and lean your upper body into it if you're shooting Isosceles. And you can easily overcome that recoil within reason. Now, I'm not telling a young lady who weighs 100 pounds or 90 pounds or 110 pounds to take a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum and go to shooting it. Now, that's about 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum is a well-designed handgun, has a very effective muzzle brake, and when they fire that gun, it'll probably land them back there by our pool. It's probably 60 yards from where I'm standing at right now. I mean, it can hurt you. Okay. I would not want to try it. Now, I can shoot a 44 Magnum, but it'll rock that gun way back up here. I mean, it really will under recoil without a muzzle brake. But I can control it. Some people can, some people can't. I got really strong hands from my job. I pick up 30, 40 pounds, and a lot of times more than that per hand, And I do it for hours and hours and hours, moving all this heavy crap around. It's metal, it doesn't give, and after a couple of hours it makes my hands hurt. Maybe you don't. So you have to start out light. I'd say 380 or 9mm, work your way up steadily. And try other folks' guns, but don't let anybody hand you a 44 Magnum or a 454 Casull or a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum on your first day at the range, because you will get hurt bad. It will come out of your hand, hit you in the head, and either hurt you real bad or kill you. So don't do that. I know Michael would not allow that to happen, because he'd probably end up shooting them in the pinky toe or beating them down. You know, that covers the basics of stance and so forth. I hope some way, shape, or form you got something from this. I am an advanced novice, no more. I have not been to any schools. I try to pick up and learn as much as possible from as many sources, but I am just like any other human being. Once I think I'm right about this or right about that, I stick to my guns. Just like my old antique right here. But anywho, thank you very much for watching. Y'all take care. This is Mac Daddy 1911A1 with the Shade Tree Survivalist.